Live. Yeah, it looks like we're live. What's going on, guys? Another episode of the Brass Knuckles Bible Club. So, just right off the rip, real quick, I did want to remind you guys, if you didn't catch the last episode or the episode before that, I'm on audio platforms now. Okay, so video is not your thing. All right. I'm on Spreaker. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Deezer. I'm on Podchaser. I'm on Podcast Addict. If some of those other ones seem a little bit, I don't know, I guess you could say less known, archaic, those are for the Android weirdos. So if you're like, 8% of the total US population and you have an Android as opposed to an iPhone, you ain't special. You're not special. Number one. Number two, you probably watch anime. And number three, okay, it's too cheap to get an iPhone. But I get it. I don't know what it is with these guys. They're all like elitists. But, okay, for Apple guys and Android guys, you ain't special. Okay, even though you're not special, Brass Knuckles Bible Club's on audio platforms as well. Okay, so, but if I'm just being completely honest, I mean, to me, it's like you're not really getting the full experience unless you're watching the video. Okay, so unless you're watching the video, then it's not, you're not really getting the whole thing. Because one of the other elements that we've added to this is, number one, the live chat. Okay, so obviously I'm live right now. So I have it to where it's displayed right here, and you can see what's the top chat. I'm trying to get it to where it's the live chat. Trust me, it's been an entire thing. I've been fighting with this for days and days and days. And remember, I talked to you guys last time about this, and I let you know that there is a way to do this and have it fluid, but you got to have money. You got to have money. And I'm not exactly rolling in the dough. So all this stuff, I've had to do it myself. All right. I'm not puffing my chest out. I'm just saying I'm broke. All right. So if you text anything in the chat, it's over there in the lower right-hand corner. Well, that'd be the right-hand corner for you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and type it in. But so listen, not a very deep theological episode tonight, although I did want to let you know that I am working on another special. We kind of got away from the normal shtick of what the show is, and it's essentially it's exposing false deities, false beliefs, false belief systems, false religion, essentially, okay, and giving you the proper biblical context, okay, and giving you the proper apologetics to navigate your belief systems in this crazy day and age that we're living in, which essentially is just Romans 1, okay? I've said it once, said it a million times, I'm going to say it every single time. Why don't I give you the actual verses? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'm all about context. I like context. And so, whenever I tell you, hey, go read James 1 or go read Romans 1, okay, I want you to read the entire chapter. Because the problem is that a lot of people, really mainly baby Christians, okay, baby Christians, and even some people that they've been a Christian for a while, but they really just never grew up, is they have this issue where they cherry pick. So they take verses and they latch onto verses out of context. They memorize the ones that they like and they forget the ones that they don't like. And oftentimes it's completely wildly out of context. And the problem is that when you take things out of context, they lose their meaning. Okay. And then what was originally objective, okay? So, like, the truth by its very nature is objective, right? Means it's stationary, it doesn't change, right? But when you take things out of context, now you make them subjective, okay? This is malleable. You can change this, you can manipulate this. And I don't like doing that. I like letting the text speak for itself. That's why I just go to the chapter. So if you want to know specifically, it would be Romans 1:18 through 32. However, I want you to read the whole thing. That's why, just because somebody asked me last time, how come you just give the chapter? That's why, because I want you to read the whole thing. Now, anyway, so like I said, I am working on a new special, okay? Yes, you would think that it's probably, based on current events, just based off of the thumbnail and the title. And although, yes, that is the bulk of it, that's not the underlying point of the entire thing. Okay, we're getting back to the whole, exposing lies, exposing darkness. And we are doing that through defeating false belief systems, taking every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Okay, and casting down arguments and fortresses and everything that rises up against the knowledge of God. And we're on the back end of that, again, text in context. All right. On the back end of that, okay, giving you the proper apologetic and how to think critically and to navigate that. And on that note, okay, we're going to get into tonight's episode. Although this channel isn't exclusively a reaction channel, there are times where I do react to current events. And again, so that we can look at things through a biblical lens and a biblical perspective, and we can peer through the lens of Scripture. Okay? First of all, we have to be able to look with our eyes and listen with our ears. We must perceive things carefully, okay? Be slow to speak, quick to listen, okay? And, these sound like principles that really should be basic. And, if we're being completely honest, they are. But this is a lost art form, okay? And tonight's episode, there's going to be a lot of reaction. And the majority of that is due, in fact, simply because people are just, they're not thinking critically. They're just not. They're not. Listen, I want to run. If I ever did run for president, this is what my slogan would be. Make critical thinking great again. Okay? Make common sense great again. But the problem is that you can't even get to common sense or what should be common sense if you don't think critically. And the reason people aren't thinking critically is because, one, they're rushing to judgment, okay? Two, if they're any kind of an influencer with a big, following, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands and millions, and anytime anything crazy happens, they gotta pounce on it, right? They have to. Why? Clicks, views, shares. People want to know what it is that they have to say. The problem with constantly chasing algorithms is that you kind of take that critical thinking element and you just toss it out the window. Okay? You're very quick to rush to judgment. And the problem is that sometimes, even though things look pretty clear whenever you first see them, okay, they have to be dialed in and broken down and systematically, frame by frame by frame, investigated and reinvestigated, okay? And you have to look at things from every single possible angle that's available, okay, before you just one and done and case closed. It was justified. Case closed. It wasn't justified, okay? That's not how anything works in the real world. Unfortunately, People only seem to think that that's the only thing that works right here in front of a camera. But the problem is that whenever you have a large platform, you know what I mean? People are too prideful. They're way too prideful. They'll never say, hey, I goofed. I screwed the pooch, man. I'm sorry. I blew it. I was wrong. I was wrong. Those are the three rarest, hardest words to say. And those are the three words that you are almost guaranteed to never hear from anyone with a huge following. Almost never. Almost never. I was wrong. Now, obviously, people don't like being wrong. Okay? It's hard to kind of show people that you're credible if you're just wrong all the time. You want to be right more than you are wrong, or else what's the point of listening to you? What's the point of listening to you if you're even 50-50? If you're 50-50, then you're not. People aren't going to trust you really to get their information. They want to go with the guy that they know, okay, this guy is fair, this guy's balanced, this guy's measured, okay, this guy takes his time, and this guy looks at everything, and then he comes up to a determination, and even then still allows for room, still allows for the possibility of saying, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is everything that I have, this is everything that I see. And based off of the totality of the circumstances and based off of the full collection of evidence that I have in front of me, whether it be testimonial, whether it be video, whether it be audio, whether it be witness statements, whatever it is, this entire totality of every single thing that I have, this blank is my interpretation and blank. This is my answer and blank. This is what I think that this is. How many people do you hear or see doing that? Almost no one. Now, the people that don't immediately rush to stuff like that, okay, people get upset and they essentially call them fence sitters. You're just milquetoast. You're just in the middle. You just don't want to say left or right or whatever because you don't want to get burned. Well, listen, it's a very wise thing. It is a very, very wise thing to be patient and to wait for all of the facts to come out. Mind you, okay, this does not happen in anywhere in policing, okay? Not that this necessarily is that I'm acting in the, in the capacity of a law enforcement officer. That's not what this is, okay? That's not the hat that I'm wearing right now. Right now, dude, I'm a YouTuber, okay? However, all right, I know that in real life scenarios, let's say there is a shooting, okay? Do you think the first cop shows up, okay, and goes, that was a murder? No. Do you think the first cop shows up and goes, he's totally innocent, he didn't do anything wrong? No. What does he do? He locks the scene down. That's what he does. You're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to leave. You still have a weapon. Disarm this guy. Handcuff. Disarmed that guy. Detained. Hey, I need more units. More units are already on the way. Hey, I need you to go across the street. They got cameras. I need you to go see if they got any footage of this. Hey, there was a lady that was over there, okay, and she was recording on her phone. I need you to go talk to her. Get all her information. I want that video. Okay. Hey, I need to see, okay, if anybody else was in the area, who else called 911. Call dispatch, see if you can get a replay of the 911 tape, okay? Hey, you need to go over there and you need to start knocking on doors, okay? Start leaving case cards, start knocking on doors. Hey, you need to call forensics. Get forensics over here. They need to come off. They need to tape all this off. They need to set up their picture thing that does the 360 pictures all over the place, okay? And you need to let the evidence people do what the evidence people do, okay? There's an entire, okay, and then what happens? Then we got to call up the detectives. We got to get some suits out here, okay? There's a process. You don't just roll up to a scene and go with the first thing that you see and say, hey, yep, that's it. You don't do that in an investigation where you're actually responsible for that. Now, yes, what you have is pivotal and doesn't get any more responsible than that. But as somebody that has, I don't know, 4 million followers, not responsible for the answers that they give? Yeah, yeah. You know, we look at these people, they got little one time, well, I just made this dumb video. Nobody's going to watch me. Only 1,000 people. I only got 1,000 followers. That's 1,000 people that you can influence. That's a lot. That is a lot of people. Okay. And so whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, it's not that I don't want to speak about it. Again, like I said, people wanted to, I've had a couple people ask me about it, ask me what I think about it. And listen, there's a reason that I haven't said anything about the Renee Good shooting or the Alex Pretty shooting. Okay. There's a reason I haven't said anything. And it's not just because I don't want somebody to get butthurt and for me to get fired. Okay. It's not just that. There's other reasons. You're not special. Okay. But I can also tell you this, I'm not a dummy. I'm not a dummy. And this isn't like, I don't make any money doing this. Why? I make content and I make Christian content. I do it for the love of the game and I do it to push out the gospel. That's why I do it. Okay. I do it because I love it. Certainly not because I'm making any money. Okay. Because I still got to pay off my truck in this house. I got bills and kids and dogs, right? Cost money. So, yeah. So I understand that there's a time to shut up. Instead of running my face, why don't here's a crazy idea. Here's a crazy idea. Both with the Renee Good shooting and the Alex Pretty shooting. I got a great idea. How about the investigators? How about I just let them investigate? And how about I just shut up? Was I there? No, I wasn't there. But I can tell you this, neither of them are good. And I don't even mean that they're good shootings or that they weren't good shootings. I mean that they're not good because people died. And that's awful, It's awful. It's tragic. Nobody's happy about it. I'm not happy about it. Doesn't matter how they voted. Doesn't matter if I agree with them. Doesn't matter if I like them. All that stuff is irrelevant. And at the bare minimum, the investigation's ongoing. So why am I going to step out of here and blow my own big toe off, okay, and find myself in the unemployment line for getting emotional and saying something and stuffing my foot in my mouth? Not going to do it.
Look at you now.
We're going to be going over some other people too, though. Now, because this is one of those things that we got to understand. Listen, dude, listen, I'm not going to get in trouble to tell you, hey, be patient. Think critically. Understand your rights. Understand the limits. Understand the limits of your rights, because you do have limits. There are some limits. Case in point, First Amendment. It's not blanket freedom, just like the Second Amendment is not blanket freedom. There's stipulations. Okay? But just kind of keeping everybody focused onto the core point of this entire episode tonight. Okay? I'm not going to make it a gimmick, but like, if this was going to be, I would love to make it a regular thing to just like review dumb videos. Okay? I almost would make a segment out of it. And here's what the segment would be called: idea, good idea, or bad idea. Okay. Could I? Should I? Is it legal? Is it smart? Guys, this is deductive reasoning. This is critical thinking. And sadly, there's not a whole lot of people doing this anymore, and definitely not influencers. We're gonna be going over an influencer. This is the problem. The problem is that people get, if you haven't been able to tell, people are way too emotional right now. They're not thinking clearly. Okay. When you get all pissed off, you can't think. That's why you can't fight when you're mad. That's why boxers stay loose. They calm down. You don't think clearly when you're all psyched up. And that's 99% of the problems of what we're seeing right now over in Minnesota. People aren't thinking. And even worse than that, people that stick a camera in their face, they're not thinking before they post. Listen, if I get fired for this, for telling you, hey, be smart. Hey, don't say dumb things. Hey, don't threaten people, okay? If I get fired for saying that, so what, dude? Whatever. I really doubt it. I don't know who would fire me for that. But hey, it is what it is. But somebody's got to speak to calm these people down on all sides. All sides on the left. You don't see a whole lot of right sides saying this. I got to be able to call balls and strikes. All sides on the left, meaning everything from libertarian over. Okay? Because let's be honest, you're not seeing this from the right side. That's fence sitting. I got to be able to call balls and strikes. Case in point, how many Republicans do you see storming hotels, smashing up businesses? Venture to say zero. So look, dude, here we go. Okay? Because, listen, every now and then, doesn't hurt to have a reminder. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please do me a favor, like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already done so, sign up. Sign up. I'm on social media. Official BKBC podcast on TikTok. Official BKBC podcast on Instagram. And my personal Facebook, Ronan Bledsoe. It's me. It's a picture of me, and I got a thin blue line, filter over my face. Add me, inbox me. Let's get on to this, okay? That's not the view that I want to have. That view. Okay. It should not be stuck on that. Hold on. Why are we stuck? Don't do this to me live, dude. What is going on? Guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on. I guess not. Well, then. I have no idea why I'm not able to view this. Sorry, guys. I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear or see, but hey, man, it is what it is. If it's not working, it's not working. I got to be able to, we got to be able to continue without having to worry about this kind of stuff. And if it's just not meant to be right now, then it isn't meant to be. But in the meantime, I can talk to you and whatever. We don't need this stuff. And maybe you're getting a little bit over those reactions, But listen, look, okay? Just scenarios, okay? Just some scenarios. All right? Good idea, bad idea. Is it just an idea, a good idea, or a bad idea to protest? It's an idea. Okay? Hey, fighting the cops. Good idea, bad idea. Or an idea. It's not a good idea. It's not just an idea. It's a bad idea. Okay? Legal, not legal. Let's play this game. Is it legal to drive a car? Yeah. Yeah. You got a driver's license. It's legal to drive a car. Right? Is it legal to drive a car right through the middle of an ICE convoy and try to block them in? No. That is not legal. That's obstruction. Okay? Legal, not legal. When an officer tells you to get out of the car, okay, and you decide to gun it. Okay, hold on. Before we even get to that. Legal, not legal. If an officer tells you to get out of the car and you ignore him, is that legal or illegal? That's illegal. You can't do that. Now you're obstructing. Okay? When an officer says to get out of the car and you attempt to drive away, legal, not legal. Not legal. It's called fleeing. That's if you're trying to get away, which was she? Not going to speak on it. So legal, not legal. Trying to hit an ICE officer with your car. Legal or not legal? Not legal. That's attempted murder. At very least, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon by way of a vehicle. Very, very illegal. Now, can you do it? Physically, I'm sure. Yeah. Should you? No. We need to start asking these questions before we do things. Is it legal? It's like a flow chart. You ever seen a flow chart? Okay. I don't know what it is in my work. They love flow charts. It's basically this questionnaire, and it goes based off of yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And you follow the puzzle all the way around until you get to your desired destination, your answer. Okay. First question. Is it safe or is it not? It's safe. Okay. Is it legal or is it illegal? It's legal. Okay. Is it wise or is it unwise? It's wise. Okay. Can I do it? Should I do it? I can do it. I'd wait. Let's try this again. Here's a different flowchart. Is it safe or is it unsafe? Unsafe. Don't do it. Is it safe or unsafe? Unsafe. Why are we proceeding any further? Okay, we're proceeding further. Is it legal or illegal? Illegal. Don't do it. Don't do it. Is what I'm about to do, is it wise or is it unwise? Unwise. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So we add all these things together. Okay. Is it safe? No. Is it legal? No. Is it wise? No. Then we get to the next junction. Can I do it? Listen, dude, I could drive my truck and I could steer with my feet if I wanted to. That don't make it a good idea. Is it a good idea or is it a poop idea? If it's not a good idea, don't do it. And listen, you can apply this across the board. Here's the crazy thing. You don't even have to be a Republican to do this. You could be blue no matter who and still do this. I have people that I know that used to be my friends. Not anymore. Not my choice. Okay. Cut me out, not the other way around. But, all right, at least as much as I know, they have enough sense not to get involved with all this ridiculous activism. Activism, yes. Okay. It's probably a good thing that they're lazy. Probably a good thing that they never go anywhere or do anything. It's probably a good thing. But you know what? They got enough sense to mind their own business. And so that's probably the capstone of what I would say about all this stuff. Just because you have a following, just because you have 4 million people that follow you. By the way, I figured out what was wrong with my camera. My camera died. That's what was wrong. It wouldn't, that's why we couldn't see anything. It died. Anyway, so that's the final litmus test. Okay? Let's go over it again, just in case we were lost. Is it safe or is it unsafe? First question. Is it legal or is it illegal? Second question. Is it wise or is it unwise? Third question. Can I do it? And if I can, should I do it? Fourth question. Well, that's kind of two questions. Fifth question. And at the end of all of that, okay, all you got to do, whether you like ICE, whether you don't like ICE, whether you like Trump, whether you don't like Trump, whether you're for what's going on in Minnesota or you don't like it, on both sides, whether you're for the deportations or you're against it, after you've gone through that entire gambit of critical thinking questions, you know what you should do at the end of it, at the very end of it? Mind your own business. Did you hear what I said?